Hey, how's everyone doing? Woo! Let's get this thing rolling here. Come on, baby. Start broadcasting. All right, let's see. There it goes. All right, there we go. Okay. Hey, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and welcome to Wednesday Afternoon Live. We get together every Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we always look at something that has to do with the portrait, and I am glad you were here. So let's see, my name's Kurt, and what we do is we have a very active Facebook group. The link is down in the description, so you might want to check that out. But if you want to participate in deciding what we're going to draw, I always post a vote on the morning of our live draw that you could vote of which picture you want to draw. So we have a winner, and it was someone's grandfather that we're actually drawing tonight from, I believe, World War II is my guess. So we're going to be doing that this afternoon. But listen, I am glad you're here. I would only ask that at some point, if you get a second, please give the video a big thumbs up. It helps, of course, on YouTube. And if you're watching this and haven't subscribed to the channel, do so, because then you'll get all those great alerts of when we go live. And the great thing about going live is I'm here to answer any questions. Oh, it's Diane's. Okay, great. Allison just said it's Diane's grandfather, so that's excellent. I'm live so you can engage, you can ask a question, and I am pretty good at pausing and answering the question. So that's what we have. So let's get into this, okay? So, you know, my approach to drawing the portrait is similar to others. I really have honed in my skills to kind of follow an Andrew Loomis method. It's kind of what I teach, but I also incorporate some other ideas that are in addition to that. So usually we start off with gesture, we go to construction, and then we go to detail. But of course, what I have in front of you right here is this is called an animator's model sheet. And some of the people in our Facebook group like to draw the cartoons or animations, and these are an excellent way to practice. And if you're going to draw one of these, I want us to practice this right now. I'm going to show you how. What you really want to do is to make sure your drawing is on model. And what that will do is it will help you to judge distances with your eye and get that to be working with your hand. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to first draw. This is a character. His name is George Jetson. He was a cartoon character that I grew up with, and you could find whatever cartoon character you like. If you just do a Google search for that cartoon character model sheet, you could grab that character and practice drawing it. So let's give it a go. And right now, as I'm looking at my screen, we might have some lag in just a second. So just hold set. Give it a minute. Grab a cup of coffee or tea. Nope. So it's Wow. Wow. Can you still hear me? I'm curious when this thing freezes up if it's just if it's only the visual. Oh, okay. We're back to green. It looks. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get going here. This is good. The green is, let me just make sure that we are live here with my screen. Okay, I think we're good to go. So, this is a character. His name is George Jetson. So we go through this process of drawing, of going gesture, construction, and then detail. And then I have 4 rules of measurement that I use, and that's to keep my proportions locked in. And what those are, and these probably are even more important, they are using horizontal lines, using vertical lines, using negative shape, and then using a cartoon check. So I'm going to just write cartoon check. And we're going to, let me review these 4 rules or 4 tools of measurement as we draw George Jetson and practice with him, okay? So let's go ahead and start here with a sphere. And we're going to draw this picture right down here, okay? And I can see right away that this sphere has a nice line going down the center. And then, you know, if I was to, like, that's the center point of my sphere there. Yes, good. What happened here? Okay, so if that's the center over here, this would be, let's mark this center over here. All right, so there's the center over there, so you could kind of get a comparison, okay? So if I come out here, I can see immediately that his head is coming like this, and this is how you would practice something like this. And I'm going to get his bottom part of his neck down here, right? All right, so this would be a good spot here to show you what I mean by negative space. Look at this negative space here. See this negative shape? I'm trying to match that shape in my drawing. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, so there's that. That's good, right? So let's continue. All right, so I can see the ears coming down here. All right, here's the hair back here, right? Okay, so there's another good negative shape. Look at this negative shape. Does my drawing match that? Okay, this should be actually a little more curved there, right? Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's get this middle marker back in here. All right, let's see the eye. Now, here's one eye. What's the distance between the top of this eye and the hairline? You see that? That would be another place. All right, so it looks like I got to make my eye a little bit bigger. All right, next eye is right next to that. All right, where's my nose? Let's look at the nose. Now the nose is lining up. Look at this. The back end of the nose is lining up on the inside of that eye. You see that? So let's see if we can get that. And then it's a straight line, okay? Thing with practicing on cartoons like this, it takes a lot of the anxiety away of trying to get a perfect face, because that is a lot of pressure that you put on yourself, and helps you to draw a little bit more relaxed, okay? Plus this gives a great warm-up. Okay, so there's his nose. All right, so I was just looking at this negative shape right there, okay? Let's see about his mouth now. His mouth is going to be coming in like this, maybe. Look at the corner of it. Look at the corner of his smile here compared to the center. You see that? I'm going to make this bigger so you could see it a little bit better, okay? Oop. All right. So what we're doing is I'm just trying to get all these shapes down. Okay, now this is a good example of the cartoon check. Look at the shape of his ear, and then look at mine. Now the cartoon check is you look at the ear, you look at your reference, then look at your drawing, and you go back and forth real fast. And you will see, if you go back and forth right away, if I move my eyes back and forth, I can see that my ear needs to be extended just a little bit. It's like a cartoon that's jumping along the page. Okay, we got that, and look at his hair's coming out the back here, okay. And then here is a vertical alignment. Look, the tip of his hair, if I drop a vertical line, it lines up almost with the, just on the inside part of his nose. Okay, so I'm going to be right about there. See, this will really, really up your portrait drawing skills by getting good at judging distances. And it will immediately tell you where you're off, and you can make some adjustments. Okay, look at this, is interesting. Here's another one I just noticed. Look at the bottom part of his mouth there, and now look at mine. I've really squared mine up, so that mine should be mine should be far more curved. Okay, so this is a great. I'm gonna move on now to our portrait, but this is a fantastic exercise for you to find a character that you like, your favorite cartoon. Just do a Google search for that. Put the name of that character and then put model sheet, and try and draw right next to it. Try and draw it on model, and it will really lock in your portion control. You can use vertical lines, horizontal lines, negative space, and the cartoon check to make sure things are locked in place. All right? All right, let's continue on now. All right, before we get into this, I just want to talk about teeth really quick, and I want to point out a couple things. I want you to remember that first, teeth are going to be round. All right, so let's up on the side of your page there. I want you to put these notes in. Let's just kind of draw. Just draw a smile. All right. There's an open mouth and a smile, and the first thing I want you to remember when drawing teeth is the corners usually are going to they're going back in the head. So it's going to be very shadowed in the corners. So just go ahead and drop in a little bit of a shadow on the back end of your teeth, okay? All right, the next thing is right now these teeth are very flat because they have no dimension, but the teeth are very round, meaning your jaw is round. So we need to add some tone to the sides. So as these teeth go back in space, they get darker. That's going to give us a real sense of roundness to them. Just popped in to see today's draw. All right, Lana. I expect great things. Yes, teeth. All right, next. So the next thing, let's talk about the gums. Okay, so you could see that the gums, in this case, are just drop in those gums just like this. The worst thing you could do is to draw in the spaces in between teeth. All right, so we get some gums in place. Purging your wardrobe today. And then the last thing on teeth, what we want to do is then drop in the negative space. So I'm not really looking at my drawing per se, but if you were to okay, so you might have a tooth over there. Tooth is over there. All right, then you're gonna maybe a tooth is like this. And these are just random. I'm just kind of putting this in because I don't have any reference for these teeth right here. So that's the next thing. So the first thing is you get the outline of your shape. You add your tone to the corners. Tone to gums. Tone to negative. Oops. Negative shape. And then the last thing is you indicate the space between the teeth. And this you want to be super, super light. Thing is, if you go too dark, there's so much contrast in that line. So, you are just barely. I don't even know if you could see that. You see? You were just barely putting those lines that separate the teeth, okay? Unless you're like me, or you have a big old space. There it is right there. Then you're into business, okay? So then the last thing is lightly drop in the space between the teeth, okay? All right. There's your little teeth demo. All right, let's jump right into our guy here. All right, so let's walk through this very carefully together. So we're going to start off with a sphere. And the first thing I want to determine is my 2D perspective. So his head is slightly tilted to the right. So let's kind of drop that in here. That's the 2D. 3D, we'd ask ourselves, along that axis, is he coming forward towards us or is he going away? And I'd say he's looking straight at us, so we're okay there, right? If he was coming forward towards us, you would have an axis that was coming towards us like this. If he was going away, then your axis would be something like this, you see? Okay, so the next thing we have is let's go ahead and get his brow line in. All right, just a slight curve there. Center line of his face. Okay, let's look at this here. So we've established now, like this is his center line. Okay, let's look at this. Look at that distance between here. Even if I was just to kind of draw a straight line along the side there, look at that distance. You see that? Let's put that in right there. So very lightly, I'm just going to try and match that distance right there. Okay, look at the other side now. Look at this distance. Okay, this is a little bit of a 3/4 view, so I'm going to need a little bit more space on the left side here. All right, so here's our brow line that we already kind of put in. We've got our center line there. All right, let's establish where we think that nose is going to go. All right. So just by looking at this, I'm going to say my nose is going to about fall right about there. And you can actually kind of use, look at this. Look at this negative. Look at that negative space. You see that square right there? That's kind of what we're looking at. All right, let's kind of establish where his chin is. So look at this. That's about half. You see that? That's about half. So let's come down about half. We're going to be right about there. Okay, there's the corner over here of his jaw. And we could put that in as well. We could kind of estimate that. Nose. Okay, look at that. There is the other angle right there coming up there. Okay, so let's put that in as well. That almost lines up with the bottom of his nose there. Keep it light. All right, let's come up here and find the top of this forehead, which is right about there. So look at this negative shape here. Let's get that in. And if I go too fast, you just give me a shout out. Keep it light. We might come back and make some adjustments. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase these marks here. All right, let's go in and look at this now. Let's do this. Let's just say that's the top part of his brim that we kind of have. But let's ignore the glasses, the goggles, and let's get his shape of this hat that's kind of in. And this doesn't have to be accurate, just close. Keep it light. And I'm just kind of coming in roughly and getting his goggles on the other side there. Look at this. This is great. Look at this negative. There's a great negative shape. You see that? All right, we don't have the other side of his head, but that's okay. We'll just kind of guess it for right now. All right, let's go ahead and get his nose in first. And it's a 3/4 nose, okay? So look at the bottom of it now. We're gonna just make sure you're angling. Make sure it's going across an angle like this. A lot of times I talk about drawing, when you draw a nose, if you think of a man's tie, which is a good idea when you're trying to put it together. Okay, Allison, we will see you later. Thanks for tuning in. So we're just looking at big shapes. That's all we're doing right now. Just big shapes. And then as we it just starts to get into more focused as we keep adding lines, almost like you were gonna zoom in on a Google Earth on a city. At first it just looks big, and then you keep coming down and get more and more detail. All right, let's kind of position where the smile is. Okay, so this is the first thing I'm looking at here. Here's the tip of his nose, which I have. I'm kind of looking at this negative area here. You see that? That's what I'm looking for, that shape there. That's going to help me to really kind of distance that smile. And then on the other side, look at this. I'm going to erase that. I'm going to show you this. Look at this. You see that? Draw that lightly. Try and match the shape. All right, so now we have now we could put a little tone in for the corner of that mouth over there. And on this other side, we can start to add some tone lightly of where the other side of his mouth is. Okay, I'm looking at the negative shape for the shape of the inside of his mouth. I'm not really trying to draw the mouth per se. I'm just trying to match the shape of the opening. All right, we can put a little line down here for his lip. See, as you practice the cartoons, the George Jetson, it really helps to get your mind to like lock these proportions in, lock these distances in, and that's really the ideal. Okay, let's adjust. Look at this over here. Look at my jaw over there. Okay, my jaw. If I use the cartoon check and jump back and forth, I could see that my jaw needs a little bit of adjustment here. And I could go right up the side of his face here and make some slight adjustments. Okay, let's work on his eyes. So here's the corner of his nose, and we kind of have a good idea where that is. And here's the other corner of his nose, right? If we do a straight line, straight up, use a vertical line, it almost lands right there in the tear duct. You see that? Let's go the other side there. If we go straight up this, wow, look at that. That almost lines up with the tear duct. Let's use that. So if I come in here, okay, it's going to be somewhere around there. And if I come up here, it's going to be somewhere right around there. Maybe a little further out there. Okay, how does usually the corner of the mouth will line up nicely with the pupil. Look at that. Corner of this mouth. Okay, now this is 3/4 view. So you can see the pupil is just outside of that. It's almost the corner of that mouth is lining up on the inside. So that's a good little arrangement that we can look for. So let's see. This is going to be somewhere. And the pupil there, and this corner is going to be on the inside there. Now, this is something good to remember. We could change the color here, go blue. The distance between the eyes is equal usually to one eye. So we can actually use that because we've already established the distance by making that measurement. So we can say, okay, the outside part of the eye is right there. And this one is going to be right about there. Okay, I'm just going to come in here, and this is the bottom part of his eye is almost a straight line. Remember, we can make adjustments. Just draw lightly. And now the top of his eye, this is interesting. Look, it's like almost 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You see that? That's what we're shooting for. One, 2, 3. 1. All right, we have something on our paper. Now let's use the cartoon check and just quickly check the picture to the eyes here. All right, so I'm just going to jump back and forth. All right, I think this eye needs to be a little bit smaller. And this one over here needs to be a little bit bigger. Oops. Still cartooning check here. I'm jumping back and forth with my eyes as I'm looking at this. Just checking the shape. Okay, I'm going to go with that right there. I'm good with that. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Okay, let's go ahead and get these pupils in and make them smaller than what you think. And I usually, when I draw my pupils, what I'm looking for, I'm really paying attention to the whites of the eye. I'm looking at the negative shape, and that's what I'm trying to match. And I'm just going to drop an overall tone. Okay, time for a cartoon check again. I'm just kind of looking at both of these. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in my my eyelashes here now, and I'm just going to follow this. Dropping in the eyelashes is going to help me give me a little personality. Okay, moving right along. Let's get these eyebrows in. Now when it comes to the eyebrows, what I'm looking for is, here's the top of my eye, and I'm really looking at this negative space, this negative shape here. I'm trying to match that negative shape, okay? And I'm going to do it to the other side as well. All right, now let's go in here and outline these these eyebrows. Look how far this eyebrow really extends beyond that eye quite a bit. And let's jump over the other side. Slight adjustment. Okay. Let's jump down here now to this, to his teeth and his smile, okay? So first thing I want to do is get my upper lip. It's a slight V. Now, when you're doing these lips, don't think of lips. Think of shape. What's the shape? What's the shape that you're going for? That's what you're looking for. Because you already have like the basic placement of it, so you shouldn't have to, you know, That's the hardest part of getting the placement down. And then the next thing we want to do is add tone. Okay. Let's get these gums in now, and now we're just gonna do it very lightly. Don't. Next will be our negative shapes for the teeth. And don't think of teeth. Just think of these negative shapes here. Of course, the last thing then is to very lightly, ooh, that's even too dark there. Put in those separators. Okay, let's get this shadow underneath his lower lip. Okay, what I want you to do now is to like squint your eyes and just look at the mouth region. Look how it's like a ball. It's a ball. It's like shaded on one side and gets lighter on the other. So let's put that in and go light. Okay, let's get this nose in now. I'm gonna right side. Okay, I'm gonna add just a slight little bit of tone there on the right side of his nose, and then of course the other side. And I'm just really focused on the shape of these shadows. Okay, I'm gonna move back up into his eyes now and work these pupils back into his eyes. When I get to the pupils, I'm just, I'm kind of leaving this little bit of a highlight. And then usually when you draw an eye, you want to make sure that you add a little bit of tone toward the top of it. Even if it's not in the picture, it's something that you want to make sure you add, because usually the eyelid is going to cast a little bit of a shadow. Okay, I'm on the left side adding these, adding his eyelids. Then he has a little bit of a shadow on the underside of his eye. I probably went a little too dark on mine, but that's okay. These eyebrows are really dark, so I'm going to give it another pass on them. Another pass of value, tone. I think really do believe that the key to drawing a good portraiture is getting your coordination down as far as like judging distances, and that George Jetson cartoon, something like that, will really aid you in the long run of getting that down. Okay, so here's a mistake. I see something right away on mine. Look, there's the bottom of that corner of that smile there, and look how far that is there. You see, this is far more angled than I have on mine. So this is why we draw it light, so I can come back in here. You get a better angle. Now he has a dimple over there. We don't want to miss those dimples. Okay, we're up to an hour here. So let's finish this off here, okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move away from the face. I mean, I could keep working it, but I don't want to. I want to get to his headgear real fast. Let's start down here with his jacket. So look at this shape. Look at the shape of his jacket. It it starts right there. You see that? And then it comes here and then straight down. So this is going to have a lot of tone here. So we're just going to, I'm going to just drop in that tone just like that. Okay, his flight gear. Now let's see. Now this, okay, that's pretty good. That's coming in at the top there. So I'm just going to, his goggles or his, just looking at his overall shape there. All right, let's look at his goggles now. And you could draw his goggles like in the corner of your page if you're not here, okay? First thing is I'm just going to get the overall angle of them. Overall angle. And then I'm going to look for the bridge area. And where is the bridge lining up? Okay, it's about right about there. All right, let's look at the top part. Top part's there. Top part is over here. Coming like this. Coming like that. And I'm really kind of ignoring the face right now. I'm just trying to get these goggles to look somewhat symmetrical because they're man-made. They're not natural. All right. Looking at this is a good marker right here. Look at this. What's that negative shape? What's this negative shape? Just trying to match those negative shapes. If I can get just in the ballpark, then I could start making some adjustments. What's this negative shape? Is that negative? No, look at that. Look how off mine is. All right, so I've got to fix that. Look at that. There, look at that negative shape. Okay, that's much better. Where does this come into in relationship with the corner of his eyebrow? And then look at this. Here's this. Look at this great shadow right in here. This is a great, that's a great shadow right there. So what are we looking at? That's like right across from his nose. Okay, so here's this. So as you keep going, you keep seeing little details here. For example, I see this right here. Look at this. Look at that. That whole area there. You see that? If I do a cartoon check going back and forth, let me see if I can adjust mine. Okay, so I'm just going to come down like this. All right, I'm liking that. And the last thing I think we're going to do here is I want to get this shadow in, and I'm just going to get the shape of it. Now, I'm looking at his ascot. I think that's what they call it, the white little handkerchief. Look how white that is compared to the rest of his face. So this is where we want to control our values. So I'm just going to, believe it or not, I'm going to just run an overall value across his entire face here. To set that back a little bit. And then his helmet over here is going to have a little bit darker value. Ooh, look at that. Color went too... All right. That's going to be it for today. We've gone a little bit over, but I hope that was helpful. So, listen, I just want to tell you that drawing the face is probably the hardest thing in the world to do for an artist. So don't be so hard on yourself. This takes time. But the best thing you could do is to practice those cartoon characters over and over and over again. It will happen. Believe me, it just takes time, okay? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the comments below, go ahead and make a comment of like what you found the best part or what you liked about this this video today. Something that stood out in your mind. I'd love to see if one area that meant a lot to you. Okay? Thanks for watching. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. We will see you later. Post your work in our Facebook group. And that's what I got. Have a great afternoon. We'll see y'all later. Go make your day great. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.